Hey guys, it's John5/Joe5 here, and I finally have part 2 of my theory. And for those of you who watch, please share part 1 and 2 with as many people as you can. That'd be great. Anyway, what's the theory about? Well, part 1 was covering the bite of 87. Where it happened, and when it happened. If you haven't seen part 1, if you haven't seen part 1, watch that before you watch this. Anyway, this theory is gonna. Well, I'll give you guys time to watch it. Okay, you're back. Okay. Well, this theory is about um who the brother of the little kid is, the timeline, and a few more details. Well, I think we should start with the most important one, and that's proving the timeline. So, what's our timeline before we include the fourth game? Well, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, as you can see on your paycheck, clearly shows it's 1987. Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Well, the bite of 87 already happened, and they're not in free roaming mode, which means it's after Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And Five Nights at Freddy's 3 says 30 years later. No matter what it's 30 years after, it's still last in the timeline. So, where does Five Nights at Freddy's 4 come into the timeline? Well, obviously you see Mangle's presence in Five Nights at Freddy's 4. She's already broken and out of order, showing that she has already been in production but has been put out of production by this point, meaning that it's after Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Do we know for sure if it's before Five Nights at Freddy's 1? Well, the animatronics were Springtrap and Golden Freddy and Five Nights at Freddy's 4. And how do we have any idea of this after the bite of 87? Well, they're not in free roaming mode, so that means the bite of 87 already happened, meaning this is after Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Oh yeah, and by the way, anybody who says that Five Nights at Freddy's 4 comes before Five Nights at Freddy's 2 can't think that the bite of 87 happened in Five Nights at Freddy's 4 because they're in free roaming mode in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. So, yeah, but here's a picture of my timeline if I remember to put it up. Here's a picture of my timeline, looks pretty good. Okay, so you see this timeline I have so far, and the reason Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is in mysteries is because there's no way to show the exact year, but due to the fact that there was a bite, which was not the bite of 87 by the way, but there was still a bite in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, I don't think they'd open it so soon after. And Mango was probably recently out of order due to the fact that she was in someone's house. Maybe, I don't know. So I'm just gonna say 1990 for Five Nights at Freddy's 4. The evidence, there's no really good evidence, but it would make sense. Alright, now don't tell me Five Nights at Freddy's 4 takes place in 1983 just because of the TV. Because, yes, and it would look a lot like the game takes place in 1983 with the TV and the fact that Scott Cawthon said you overlooked a crucial detail in the game. Well, I'm not saying. Well, Scott Cawthon very easily could have been talking about the fact that Mangle's in the game, or maybe even the fact that the animatronics in Five Nights at Freddy's 4 aren't in free roaming mode. So, yeah, see that these are all possibilities too. See, the 1983 on the TV could very easily represent when the company opened Fredbear's Family Diner, which was the start of the company. It could very easily be representing that. So, anyway, you might be asking, what does the timeline have to do with any of this? Well, believe it or not, it could actually affect the kid, whether the little kid's brother, it could show his identity. Who is the little kid's brother? That's what this main part is about, and believe it or not, the timeline really does help this. And before we get really detailed, I think it's kind of gonna be important to really prove my timeline. You remember those plushies the kid has in his room? Yeah, those are the same ones from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. So he could have, so his parents could have bought them for him or whatever when the restaurant of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 closed. Oh yeah, one more detail for my timeline. Remember how in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Phone Guy says that other location was just kind of left to rot? Well, Five Nights at Freddy's 4, someone biting a kid and killing him would clearly get the place shut down. That, as you see right there, is clearly not a place left to rot. This obviously means that this cannot be before Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And he was probably talking about Fredbear's Family Diner. Well, I theorize that this might be Mike Schmidt. And, well, obviously, I have my reasons for saying that, and I'm gonna tell you what those reasons are. Alright, so do you remember this timeline I keep showing you? Yeah, you probably do. Well, this timeline could help prove a point that Mike Schmidt is the little kid's brother, and you see the years: Five Nights at Freddy's 4, 1990, Five Nights at Freddy's 1, 1992, or 1993. And when the little kid's brother and his friends threw the little kid into Fredbear, the kid eventually died. So you remember this timeline I keep showing you? Yeah, I'm sure you do. But you see how close Five Nights at Freddy's 4 and 1 would be. I probably said this already, but see, since Mike Schmidt's brother would have died because of him, it would be normal that since he started working in a Five Nights at Freddy's restaurant, he would be haunted by the fact that he killed his brother. And there's even more evidence. When when he kept teasing the kid, he kept crying, and he sees a crying children's poster that could represent how much his brother cried. And there's even more evidence than that. This is a little bit more far-fetched than the rest of the theory, but when Phone Guy says, then there was the bite of 87, he could remember that his brother got bit and died, but like I said, that's a little bit far-fetched, and I know Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is in the bite of 87, but I thought that might be worth mentioning. But the rest of the evidence, I say, is pretty good. But guys, that is a theory. And, well, I feel like it's a theory with some pretty good points. Let me know what you think of it. Please show this to as many people as you can, because I want more people to see it, to really get this out there and give people the possibility. Anyway, I'm going to rewatch both of these parts to see if I can see any other views from it. And you know what, that's something Matt Pat got right. Five Nights at Freddy's will never end, because with every theory there comes another possibility. So, and like I said, with every theory there comes another possibility, which leads you to making another theory would lead to another possibility. So one theory could lead to hundreds. So I'm just gonna, there will probably be more Five Nights at Freddy's theories in the future. I want to make a lot of Nintendo theories, but yeah, there's a lot of videos to come. God bless, have a good day, and I hope you enjoy this video.